Back and forth to Italy, my comment section killing me. I swear I get so passionate, y'all do not know the half of it. I grew up with the rap, some boys be crashing it and splashing it. And when I say they crashing it, I do not mean an accident. I'm still in the studio at 6:45, and my haters either on their way to work or they arrived. And I gotta own the things I rap about just for my pride. You know when it comes to pride, I can't put that shit aside.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh my god, you back in this bitch and we back in this bitch and we What's up, people? I hope you enjoyed that terrible 90s rap song, the little ditty I did. We're over here in Kelladot. This is the true Kelladot. The true, the real. We just finished 2.0, and after 2.0, we're going to do some homekeeping, some housekeeping, some all that good stuff. For the first thing we're doing is the Skill Master quest. To get some more skill points, as you do. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty fun. How the storyline goes is you just fight a couple of bosses. There are 3 quests in total that you can do in once you finish 2.0, while you're in 2.1 is when they open up. And yeah, basically you're talking to the skill masters. They set you up with some tests. You fight some bosses. There's some funny dialogue because, you know, the cutscenes let the guys teleport you to the boss room. They're all like, "Let me summon the monster," blah blah. So, you know, there's storyline there, but it's just some goofy stuff. You don't really need to worry about it. Enjoy the footage here. As we always love the beautiful Dragon Quest scenery. And today I'm going to be bestowing upon you a little story. See, we're doing the Skill Master quest. I am going to help you master the skill of your own intuition. Yes. And through that, I'm going to tell us a little story about why I moved. The last reason that I moved, and that was a whole state. You know, of course, I've moved since then, a little bit around Florida, but I moved from Jacksonville. I moved from Los Angeles, good old California, back to Jacksonville after about 4 years. And a lot of people that were in my life over in California were asking why would you move back, especially after I, you know, did it so suddenly and carefully, quote unquote, you know. This is back in like 2019 or so, so this is pretty old. I still want to omit details, just because I don't think they're that helpful. I don't think they're really that useful. I haven't really taken notes on them, but the general gist of the story is, guys, to master our skill of intuition, we have to use it, be able to communicate it into the real life through speech or actions, and just that, take action. Take action on your intuition. Actually make it, you know, realize instead of just living in your head. And a lot of us who are intuitive, I've noticed, tend to sort of downplay our intuition because, you know, it's just one perception of the world. It's not actually true. You know, you tell people these things and they're like, "Oh, well, that's nothing." Or if you don't say anything and it all turns out how you said, you know, you feel kind of like, I don't know, not like disinvalidated, but just you feel kind of over it, kind of above the trivial nature of the world. And I kind of want to discuss how this happened to me and how you guys can sort of avoid having such a story for your own tale, your own playthrough of life in the future. Hopefully, telling my story will give you a little bit of insight so that you can avoid such situations as yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump in. Tazzy's got the first boss quest for us, so we'll jump in there, fight those dragons. And so basically I'll start it off in saying, in LA, give you guys a little backstory, I kind of did everything. And it's not because I wanted to, it's because I had a free and open mind, a good spirit, and I was kind. See, in a big city, big town where there are a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on in general, you tend to have these people that don't really have their own sort of prerogative agenda. They're just kind of there to learn, experience, and they just accept everything. They accept everything, good energy to be around, yada, yada, yada. I was one of those people. I saw those who I thought were also like me and one of those people, accepting general souls here to be free and learn about life. And through that, I met a lot of people. I met a lot of people, met a lot of cool things, and this is towards the end of my journey when I had multiple friend groups just from the different things I had done. And I'm like this in most things in life. I don't like to stay at the same place, stay in the same group, stay at the same clique for too long. I like to expand, just naturally. And that doesn't really focus on people. It's just like a boredom of sort of generalities of people. Once I get used to you, I'm fine with it. Like, so same like with a house, you know. Once I get used to a house, I'm fine with it and I'm okay with it. But I also just noticed and realized the fact that it's not helping me grow. And I've always been obsessed with just expanding the mind and growing. And I never thought I would grow to a place where I would have to start rejecting people, start cutting people off. But of course, that's a natural state. Intelligence does drive people back. So what happened was I had this friend group. I had this wonderful friend group that I was hanging out with. And it wasn't just one specific group, guys. It's kind of funny how it goes. You know, it's kind of like the accumulation of stress from each group. And I'll go through them one by one, but in general, it was 4 different friend groups over the span of 2 days that all, like, nobody crashed out per se. But let me get into this first story and tell you how just things were weird. They were off in my intuition, and I felt it. I felt it hard. And this just, it can be the smallest of things, guys. But when you feel it, it's really hard to ignore. And for me, when I felt it 4 times in a row from 4 different friend groups. Okay, one of them wasn't a friend group. One of them was like an interview that I had for a new job. Because I was jobless at the moment. I was looking for a job. I was unemployed and was just doing the self-employed thing for a second. But yeah, 3 friend groups and a job interview that just something in my intuition said, this ain't right, bro. They aren't right for you. They're not looking out for your best right now. Someone's lying. I smell somebody lying. You know, like I felt it in my bones. So first thing happened. We met up. Me and this friend group. We met these guys at a show that we were doing, a little play. I love plays and live theater. I'm a very big fan of the theatrics. And we were going to film something. And that, in general, was the problem, is that we did not know what we were going to film. And guys, I am just the one with the camera in this situation. I'm also an actor. I'm also an ideas guy, but I owned, like, the actual physical material of what we're doing. Right? Oh. So this is something that he's had in the works for, let's just say, because I don't really remember, because he's been offhand saying the name of a film for a while since I basically met him. But the names changed, the concepts changed, and we get here on this particular day, and there is no script, no setting, no characters. I just show up with my camera, and then suddenly it's an argument. It's an argument, you know, of what are you bringing to the table? What do you mean we don't have a script and we can't film? Just get the camera and we'll do some stuff, and put a mask on and do some crazy shit. And guys, this works when you're just like one guy by yourself, filming yourself, of course. Because you can have your own story in your head, but you know it's generally a collaboration, you know. So I don't really like this filming style when I'm doing it with other people. I just like to, you know, like I just want to be on the same page. You know, strangely enough, crazy, huh? So I was kind of getting up in arms because the communication wasn't there, and then our other friend here, there was just the three of us. He was trying to be the mediator and just trying to keep us calm. And then the thing that sort of threw me off and said my intuition like I don't need to be here was when the friend who was trying to be the mediator said, "Oh, this is fun." When I started getting uncomfortable out of my aura and into more anger, into more just angsty stuff and trying to get toxic. Not trying, but it's naturally what comes out when you start getting stuff that just isn't true about you or your character or what you're doing. So I started getting a little toxic, and I just heard that one phrase. All he said was like, "Oh, this is getting fun," or "This is interesting," or "This is funny." It was something like that. And I was like, I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here. It wasn't that I didn't like what he said. It's just that from what he said, I inferred something with my intuition. And with my intuition, I inferred that this was not real to them. This was not real to them. Also because they didn't have any stake in the game. These are just two guys that came up with the shirts on their backs. I didn't even know if they had anything in their pockets but their phone. I'm over here holding the camera. I'm over here holding the tripod. I'm over here throwing out ideas. I'm over here trying to defend my honor. And a comment like that threw me off of everything. So, needless to say, we talked for a little bit after that, but no filming was happened. I went on and I had another appointment with another friend group. As I've said here, it goes on and on and on and on, right? So I had another appointment with another friend group. And over here, we had basically a website that we were going to build for my music and all this stuff, music career, all that good stuff. It's pretty awesome. I was very excited. And essentially where my intuition went faulty here is when they were like, "I can get you discounts with Wix," or whatever, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. They give me the discounts with Wix. It was a little weird how they did it because they called the Wix people, and then they just basically did the whole Karen white girl complaint thing and said, "I saw a discount online and you guys aren't holding that discount anymore." And then they were like, "Oh, well, we'll give you it. No worries." But you say it in the white voice and you say it nicely, and then the customer service is happy to do it for you. So that was one skill I learned that day, and that was a little bit weird. Okay, I don't like annoying customer service people, but whatever. It's just a natural process. It's like a little life hack you can do. Who cares? What really threw me off was this is a girl I was talking to. Essentially, she had a boyfriend. And this was in my notorious hoe phase that everyone says they go through. But in general, I was just kind of accepting what love I got, and sort of humbly asking for, "Please, can I have some more?" As far as the love I got from females, I wasn't actively pursuing anything. I had no objective because, to be honest, I didn't really like anyone in my general circle who liked me back. And even at this point, I knew over pursuing on women is just going to push them away. So if there was someone I really liked, I kind of just made that known, and then just kind of let them sit on it. Just let them do their thing on their own. But in general, what happened was I said something flirtatious or whatever, and she just threw in. It had to be something like really, really like over the line flirtatious or something like that. That was just something. But then she threw in "I love my boyfriend." I don't even know what her boyfriend's name was at the time. And I don't know why, but something just clicked in me. It was like, I don't need to be here either. I don't need to be here either. I need to go where I am intrinsically valued and loved and needed. And right now, I looked at the situation, and she did not need me, I needed her. And then, after that, she tried to type in a password for me, and we couldn't find the password, and I was like, you know what, no, I'm good. I don't need to be here. I don't need to do this. Something small or something like that came up, and I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need to be here. I'm fine. So I left. And then I'm pretty sure this was early next morning. I had an interview for a coffee shop because I used to work at a coffee sandwich shop. So I'm like, take the sandwich away, and we'll just only serve coffee now. Why not? I go there. I meet the interview guy. We chop it up. We have a good time. I was a little early, so he liked that as well. And what we did for our tests was I had to make some latte art, right? Now I'm not the best. I'm not the best at making latte art. I'm not the worst, for sure. I can do it, but I'm certainly not the best. So it took me, I want to say, about 3 or 4 tries to get the latte art right. And yeah, the coffee shop was still opening up, so it's not like we could just like give it to some customers or something because there's like literally nobody in there. It was a new place, so I drank all the coffee. I drank all of that coffee, every single glass. You know, I drank all the coffee. It was good coffee, and after 4 cups, I was just kind of like motor mouthing off to this guy, just yada 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 yada. And I remember he said something about them being a family, and you know, there's no real rules here or something like this. Something about being free in work. And that kind of irked me because of my last work situation. Now, I could get into why freedom and family in the workplace are buzzwords that kind of hurt me now. But in general, guys, if you ever hear any of these kinds of words at the workplace, it's just to supplement the fact that it is us against HR. You know, and I feel like putting that alliance on to like a manager here and having your manager fight some invisible higher power that you can't see is some manipulated bullshit for them to take you on a trip of lies and deceit and feed you whatever they want depending on the occasion. Generally, there is no freedom in the workplace. There is no freedom and there is no friends. You are there to make money. And if the rules and guidelines aren't set out clear, guess who's going to be made out to break them? It's usually you, especially if you're black. But it's not because I'm black, it's because I'm naturally rebellious. Guys, if there's a way to do something easier at work, guess what I'm going to do? The easier way. The easier way, every time. Every time. Especially if it doesn't break any rules or hurt anybody. It's just like, oh, you know, I can just put this cup in here and it's fine. Or I can just, you know, wash my hands real quick like here and it's fine. You know, something like that. I can't really think of an example at the moment, but you get what I'm saying. So when people say they have a free and family work environment, it just kind of irks me. It just kind of irks me because I've never gone to work with the goal of creating a family or a home. I've always been that guy that stays at a job for like 2-3 years and then leaves. Sometimes even 1 year, and definitely sometimes even less. But it's just because I've been burned a little bit too much by people, and my intuitive introvertness usually comes to be, you know, right in the end. So this was the third thing that kind of hit me, and I was like, oh God, is every job in LA like this? But it's fine, it's cool, no worries. Oh. And this is when the crash out happens. So guys, in general, I'm pretty much fine. I'm pretty much okay with everything except for when people get hurt or go to the hospital, right? That's what kind of just throws me over the edge. And yeah, it was this fourth situation that really like took me to another level, and I was like, well, I just can't stay here anymore. It's too wishy-washy. I don't understand it now. And also there was a fifth situation after my crash out and after, you know, I was leaving LA that I could get into, that I might be able to get into because we have a little bit more time here in this video. So I'll get in this secret fifth one after this one. But the fourth situation here, I went to meet up with some friends. Once again, I think we were filming something. It's just the whole LA actor life or whatever, right? And once again, there was not too big of a plan, right? But that's okay. That's fine. But what happened as I arrived, everyone was late because one of our friends went to the hospital from a heart attack. And I'm like, what? So I was texting them and I'm being like, you know, where is everybody? And then they hit me back. It's like, we're gonna be there. No worries, we're gonna be there. One of our friends just had a heart attack. I think it was his roommate or something. he had a heart attack or something. So we had to take him to the hospital. And I'm like, bro, y'all still want to film though? Like, this is for us. If it's for us, then, we should be kind to ourselves and let us, grieve, take space for our friend. I don't think he was gonna be in the film, if I recall correctly, but he might have been. But when we got there, we didn't have a plan anyway, so he was his roommate, so he would have been around. It was just so weird how everyone was just so flippant about it, so offish about it, and then when they actually got there is when my crash out happened. Because when they actually got there, they had some wristbands on that did not look like hospital wristbands. I'm just gonna say, and I didn't want to bring that up, but I did ask questions. Because I always like to ask questions, and from the questions I asked, it didn't seem like they went to the hospital. And I'm like, my intuition could always be wrong. Which is why I waited 5 years to talk about it online at all. But to me, that's just not something you lie about. And if it's like that, then I don't think they lied about him particularly having a fallout or a hospital trip. But I think they lied about why he went there. Because I could see one of my other friends, he didn't look beat up, let's say, but he didn't look completely 100%. So I'm like, why are you not completely 100% right now? Why are you thrown off when it's dude that had the heart attack? And on top of that, these motherfuckers still wanted to film after they showed up 2 hours late for the shoot and made me wait. And I'm like, how is this a good use of my time? I can't go see dude at the hospital. It's not like I hated him. I didn't really know him that much, but I just didn't understand the mind frame. I wasn't in that same frame of headspace as they were. So that being said, we didn't film anything that day either, of course. And that's what sort of signified the crash out. I was like, something is coming to get me. I've been fed too many lies. I'm spreading myself thin. My intuition was going crazy, and I didn't know who to turn to. So as I'm crashing out, I'm over in my apartment complex. I'm closing all the windows. I'm sitting in my suitcase. I'm calling my dad and screaming my fucking brains out, being like, get me the fuck out of here. As I'm doing all this, I get a call from one of my friends who's met one of my family members out here that I was trying to get back to Florida. I get a call from them, and then I don't know why or who I brought this up to, but I remember I brought up I had a gay experience, and that I was like, perhaps I'm bi or whatever. Now I've sort of just accepted that, yeah, I am bi. I guess I do like guys. I don't hate guys. I just like the female aesthetic more. Both genitalia is pleasurable to me, but the thing is, I don't like to be called out on it, per se, right? I suppose most guys don't like to be called out for being gay, but I especially don't like to be singled out for my sexuality. So I get a call from one of my friends here in LA that I know is connected with one of my friends that I was talking to, or one of my family members that I was talking to back home from the crash out. And they give me a call, sort of just being like, hey, are you okay? I'm gonna be, help you out. I can meet you at the Starbucks or whatever. I can get you to drive to the airport or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. And then at the end of the conversation somewhere, this girl is like, don't worry, I got a big dildo for you right here. And I'm like, I hung up the phone. I was like, no, I'm crashing out. I just, you should know by this frame that I am in no mood for this random sexual stuff. And this is the thing, guys. For me, at least, how it's been in my life is everyone that you don't want attention from will give you all the attention in the world, and everyone that you do want attention from will not give you the light of day. And this girl is someone I did not want attention from. They're not terrible people. No one generally is. There's no black and white in this world. Everyone has some good in them. I'm not gonna go full Kanye and say even Hitler, but I think a lot of times the reason why people naturally just walk away from us or get, like disgusted or sort of reject our love is just the chase. It's just the chase. You are perceived as less valuable when you make yourself available to what you want in your life. So in general, if you want something, you just have to focus on yourself, which is sad. It's one of the reasons why I got out of the dating game, because I just find it very, very sad that we can't actually be ourselves. And then a lot of people will come at people like me, the intuitive types, who realize what's going on and decide to detach from everything because, y'all motherfuckers are stupid. Retarded. And I realized a lot that most of the fantastic, amazing things I've done in LA have been either from the establishments that I have frequented or myself, or I just film it myself. There's like maybe one short film that I did in LA that I did with other people that I'm proud of. Maybe. Perhaps. But most of this stuff I did myself, so I was like, why am I here? I'm not getting anything good from it anymore. My friend group doesn't bring me validation anymore. They don't make me feel safe anymore. They don't make me feel heard anymore. And I really felt the just giant aching feeling of being used. I didn't like it. It didn't matter if it was real or not. That was my perception. And you gotta realize, guys, this is a town. I was a nomad for a while here, these past like 4 or 5 years. So this is a town that I had no family members in at the time. One of my distant relatives moved out recently of LA. So I had no family members there at the time. I just had these friends who now, like that I've seen these 4 different people, 4 different friend groups all crash out on me intuitively. I had to realize it's not them. It's not like I could just find someone different in LA. It's a pattern that I was doing with myself. You have to realize as an intuitive introvert, you're constantly teaching people how to treat you. Constantly. And a lot of times, people think just the nice guy route, the kind and generous soul route, will get people to be kind and generous souls back to you. No, you can't just accept all the bullshit and spit out gumdrops and rainbows. Because that's going to make people walk over you and use you as a resource. Of course, they'll keep coming to you, but they will come to you as a resource. And you will get no unconditional love unless you are being that resource. So guys, we have to know our worth. If you get called out to do things more than 4 times in 2 days, and all of these motherfuckers are manipulating and lying to you, you have to get out. And maybe all of them weren't. It was just different crash outs within myself that just told me I don't need to be in this situation. Like, this isn't serving me. Especially, like, see, it's not always the people lying to me. It's especially like the girl, Well, wherever, we may have been flirting. We may have been having a good time. She may have just been being kind. She may have thought I was just being kind. But it doesn't serve me to be in an area where I'm confused like that. That's not going to serve me. It doesn't serve me to be in an area where I'm not trusting that people actually went to the hospital. It doesn't serve me to be in an area where people want to see me crash out and get angry at people. It doesn't serve me to be in an area where people lie to my face about the friendliness and, the upbringing of how they're going to do their company. Doesn't serve me. And it doesn't serve me when people try to actively manipulate a weak point in my psyche to get me to open up more about my sexuality. All of these things accumulated to basically a crash out where I flew out. I didn't even pack any of my stuff from from my apartment. I just kind of flew out for a couple weeks to Florida to see, like, hey, do I really need this? Is this something I really need to, do? Do I really just want to clear my head? And yeah, I went back to Jacksonville. I went back to Florida here. And yeah, those 2 weeks cleared my head. talked to a couple people, and I realized I really just don't need to be out there anymore. I learned what I needed to learn. I think I do love the nomad style, just because I've gotten so good at building up my environment to something I want it to be. So recently I moved within Jacksonville here, just a couple blocks over, and I got everything set up in about 2 weeks. And just, of course, it all had to come in, delivery wise, because I ordered all my furniture online. But I set it up pretty fast, and I've grown like used to that skill of being able to like build a room, build a set, build a material around myself. And I'll show you guys the set here, probably in the next episode or next couple of episodes of the filler over here, the filler episodes before we get into 2.1. But I wanted to get through this story. I wanted to get through this story to really show something to my intuitive introverts, to say that you're not necessarily wrong to yourself. And the thing is, we can really get trapped in our own heads, our own overanalysis, and a lot of times that can stop us from taking the actions that we need to. I think that was me. I didn't have a job, right, by the way. I was looking for a job. So that's why I was able to do so many things with so many people in such a short span of time. So the thing is, if you don't take action and actively do something with your intuition, write things down is nice, but I think voice notes really, really take the cake for this. I'm so glad phones can do this nowadays. But grab a mic, grab a phone, record your voice, record what you see, record what you interpret life as. Because oftentimes there are some truth in there. I'm not saying it's all truth. I'm not saying everyone's out to get you. But oftentimes that's where the truth lies. It's communicating that and connecting it to other people's stories. Now, the problem with this story is that I can't connect it. I can't re-corroborate it with anyone else's story because I got the fuck out of there. So take all this with a grain of salt. That's why I'm kind of not doing details. Because I really don't know what happened. And I'm not going to frame this story like, oh my god, everyone was out to get me. It was crazy, Like, I know what real life is. When I was in that coffee shop, I smelled the coffee beans. I sipped the coffee. I really drank in my life to the fullest extent, and I invite you to do the same. Because if you don't fully come back to reality as an intuitive introvert, if you don't fully embrace reality and get out of your head, you can spiral very easily. Very, very easily. And I'm not saying that's what I did. I'm saying it's accumulated from so much of just giving to other people, of just, being the guy to go to. Being the, I need to film something, let's go to Marcus. Oh, I need this, let's go to Marcus. Oh, somebody needs a role for this play, let's go for the Marcus. Let's go for Magic Koopa Mark. From always being that guy, it's naturally accumulated stress that builds up in the head that I have to get out somehow. And I was like, there's no one I can turn to, essentially. At least I didn't feel like there was. So I went back to my family, and the truth was that the family wasn't really what I could turn to either. So I turned to myself. I chose me. And that's all you need to do as an intuitive introvert. I can assure you life is not going to get easier the more knowledge you gain. But that shouldn't be a reason for you to stop gaining knowledge and stop being insightful and cut off this gift that you have. To truly unlock your intuition, it's not to ignore it and say, oh, that's just what a random thought I had. No, it's to convey it. Use metaphors, use analogies. Translate your thoughts to speech. 1% of people are like this. You are in the 1% if you can do this, and you can just see signs, you can see patterns. A lot of people can notice invisible patterns in things that aren't themselves, but it takes a lot for someone to take a step out of their own perspective and see a pattern in their own life. Like, holy shit, I do this every day. Or holy shit, these guys always act like this around me. We always have to remember, guys, language, how you portray yourself, how we communicate to each other is 55% body language, 38% tone flexion, and a mere 5% of everything you say in life is communicated through the meaning. The actual content of the words is only 5%. That's it. It's just 5%. So if you're intuitive like this, don't be worried. Don't be worried. You already know how to read the signs. So you've probably been reading people's body language, people's tone flexions, this entire time, and you've been reading into that, just exploring the room when you open it. Now all you need to do is practice commanding energy and building frame. With a consistent, detached, intuitive frame, the world can be shaped to your desire. See, with a frame like this is what I'm going to get into for the last couple of minutes of this episode while we fight these bosses here. Everyone together now, and then we're going to have 150 skill points, right? So what happens in this frame, the intuitive, detached, consistent frame, is that everything you're doing, all the positive habits and things you want to make for yourself, you do it daily. And then you get intuitive about the people around you, about your environment, about the things you want to do in your life and how it's going to serve you. And then lastly, you detach from the results, from the aspects of people saying, I thought you were going to do this. Where were you at when this happened? Where were you at when this happened? You don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Because you're not measuring results by day, by month, by week, by year. You're measuring results by spans of 10 years. Your intuition, your detachment, and your consistency are going to set you up for the most powerful forces we have at our disposal in this world. And that is the force of luck. Because luck is not random, guys. Whatever you say, in real life, luck is not random. In video games, luck may be random. But in real life, luck is not random. Luck is simply opportunity meets preparation. And if you are consistent, you're always going to be prepared. And if you are intuitive, you're not going to miss the opportunity. For sure, you will not miss the opportunity. Most things that come up in my life now that I've mastered this skill, I can see, I can view, and I can vehemently reject. Because I know where these lines lead. And I'm mostly just talking about opportunities for girls or guys or relationships. They come up a lot. Especially since I've been back in Florida, and especially since I've started focusing on myself. You have to realize, guys, what we don't actively reject and throw away and push to the side, we accept. So if someone's constantly texting you, can we hang out? Can we do this? Can we do that? Can we do this? I want to watch this movie. I want to do this with you. And you say yes, 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 yes. Even though they are initiating, it's all you. You are the acceptor. You are the one pushing the relationship forward because you accept. And the opposite is also true. So if you are constantly chasing something and they're not, actively rejecting it, then they could just be accepting you in their life. They could not actually want you. They could not actually desire you. A lot of people just flow through life like I did. It's very common for someone to just get in their feminine instinct as a guy and think that people pleasing and being nice and fulfilling others' needs is how you get ahead in life. It's very easy, especially since I was raised by a woman. Mostly only a woman. My dad was there, but he went off to the military when I was in probably like fifth grade, second grade. Elementary school, basically, and onward. I was raised by basically my mom and her grandparents. And yeah, it teaches you that the passive energy is something that we can latch onto. And I want to tell you guys, you can, but you'll be at the same place in life for a long time. It sucks, but the assholes are those who get ahead. And why? Because they build a frame that makes them the winner. So guys, fuck the world. Build the frame that you want. Live the life that you want. We're all done here. We have tons of skill points. We have mastered the skill of intuition. I'm so glad you took this story journey with me. I hope that was enjoyable. I had enjoyed, baby. Yeah, I had fun talking about it. It feels good to, get the pen out. Talk it out, because I've been wanting to make, I have made a video like this, but I didn't upload it. I've been wanting to upload a video like this for a while. And I feel like this is a good time to do it. I do like the congruency with the skill master, the intuition master. So I hope everyone has a good day. Remember to subscribe and like that shit, because I like you. Have a good day.